Hello everyone. One of the common questions which my patients frequently ask me, what is the recovery time after a surgery for a slip disc or the sciatica? Before I answer this question, and I want to tell you, you will get the answer for this question at the end of my video. Because before you understand this one, you need to understand what are the different kinds of surgeries available for slip disc or sciatica. Basically, there are three kinds of surgeries which are commonly done for sciatica and the slip disc. One is known as the open surgery. Second one is the microdiscectomy or microscopic assisted surgery. Third one is the keyhole surgery or endoscopic surgery. So first let us understand what are these three kinds of surgeries. Basically, the open surgery and microsurgery are same. The techniques are same, but in microscopic surgery, the same surgery is done with the help of a microscope. So, as you all know, microscopes magnifies the images, magnifies our operative field. So, the nerves which are very thin are magnified under a microscope, and the same open surgery, when done under microscope, becomes more safe and the size of incision and the tissue damage decreases. Now let me show you what is so I'm going to show you basically a microdiscectomy and a keyhole surgery or the endoscopic discectomy. You can imagine an open surgery to be similar like a microdiscectomy, but you are not using microscope, so your skin incision is much larger. The amount of tissue damage is much higher. In our center, we basically don't do a microdiscectomy. We don't do an open surgery, but we do only two kinds of procedure, either a microdiscectomy or the endoscopic discectomy. So let me show you. Fine. So let me show you this video, which is available on the YouTube. This is how the microdiscectomy is done. You can see my cursor. You can see my arrow over here. So whenever I'm speaking, try to concentrate on my arrow. This is what I want you to focus upon. So this is the patient who is lying on the operative table, prone, that is with his head down towards the table. Microdiscectomy is done under general anesthesia usually. So the patient is unconscious. So the microdiscectomy includes an incision on the skin. The incision is usually not as large as shown in the figure. For a single level disc, the incision is approximately 1 inch size. Here it's shown larger for you to understand. Once the skin is divided, the muscles are retracted. Then the laminae at the bone surrounding the spinal nerves comes into picture. So follow my cursor, my arrow. So these are the spinal nerves, and this is the nerve which is being compressed by the disc. So what is being done in the surgery? This part of the bone it hinders my access to this disc. So I drill this part of the bone using a micro drill. Then the nerve root is retracted. This is the inflamed nerve root. Then the disc, which is herniated, comes in picture, and this disc is slowly cut and the herniated disc is removed. So this is basically what is done in a microdiscectomy. Then the muscles are opposed and the skin is sutured. Now let us see how we say endoscopic discectomy done. So this is basically a video from my own YouTube channel where I've explained the procedure in detail. So let us come to the procedure. Yeah. In an endoscopic discectomy, the skin incision is very, very small. It is less than 5 mm. 5 to 7 mm is the usual size of the. Which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the herniated disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the herniated disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc which is compressing of the. Yeah. This is the disc whi usually is 5 to 7 mm. Then we place a small needle through the skin which reaches the disc. See, this is the needle which is being passed into the disc. This is the herniated disc which is compressing the spinal nerve, which is compressing the spinal nerve. And over this small needle, a small dilator, which is of the size of, you can say, 7 to 8 mm passes through it. This is the cannula which I passed over the dilator. Through the dilator, you can see my endoscope going through it. As I've told, this endoscope is a device which is cylindrical in shape with a diameter of 4 to 5 mm through which my instrument goes. The endoscope helps in magnification and it also helps in providing illumination. Through this instrument, I remove the herniated portion. You can see the herniated portion being removed. Once the herniated portion is removed, the nerve root becomes free. The inflammation decreases. So I think now you have understood what are. So what are the three major techniques? The open surgery.
Spine Center offers posterior lumbar interbody fusion.
I don't know where it is playing from. Yeah. So I think you would have understood what I meant. So the open surgery, which is the microsurgery, which is basically open surgery with the help of a microscope, where the size of the incision becomes less than an inch, the tissue damage decreases, and the endoscopic surgery, which is a further refinement where the skin incision is very small, where there is no need to drill any bone, where the tissue damage is little. So once you have understood these three kinds of surgeries, now let us come to our question. What is the recovery time of sciatica surgery? I'm not going to speak about the open surgery because we don't do it at our center. So let us speak about the endoscopic surgery and the microscopic surgery. The endoscopic surgery is usually done under local anesthesia or epidural analgesia. And here the tissue damage is minimal. The skin incision is less than 1 centimeter. So after an endoscopic or keyhole surgery, the patient is made to walk within 2 or 3 hours. It is sometimes done as a day procedure, or the patient needs to stay in a hospital overnight and is discharged the next day. By the time of discharge, the patient is usually able to walk, is usually pain free, and he will be able to carry on his activities of daily life. We allow him to go back to work after a week if his work doesn't involve heavy activities. And if his work involves heavy activities, we ask him to join his work after 3 weeks. Now coming to the microsurgery. The microsurgery is usually done under general anesthesia. So the patient has to stay in the hospital for 1 or 2 days. By second or third day, the patient is made to walk. And after a microsurgery, he is allowed to go to work usually by 2 or 3 weeks. But if the patient's work involves heavy activities, he is allowed to go back after 2 to 3 months. And again, these are generalized guidelines for every patient, depending on the number of disc bulge, the extent of surgery, severity of the surgery, these general criteria changes. Hope I have answered your question. Thank you.